Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Goran and Lopez show tonight. And your host for this evening, Goran Lopez.
This is from meilleure, this song. You are the sunshine of my life. That's why I'll always be around.
Everybody has heard these hits, like Rocking Around AMG, or Albert Legrand has got blue suede shoes. But tonight, he's here on a special occasion. And here he is, Professor Gomez. Let me hear a nice hand for this fellow. He's my cousin. What has changed in your look? Where is your beard? Oh, I didn't want to look like my cousin. Oh, that's a good joke. No, I was not joking. So, let's jump right into the pool. Tell us about your new book, huh? I hear you already sold 2 copies, huh? Worldwide. Well, let me see now. I think it's safe to say that most people know that listening to English or reading grammar rules will never improve your English. If you want to enhance your language skills, at one point you have to speak on your own and write on your own, right? In learning any language, there's the input and then there's the output. Okay? So first of all, let's talk about the input. The idea is to read in English. It can be articles, magazines, books, internet sites. You can also watch films. You know, when you watch videos, you don't practice on your speaking. You don't practice on your listening. You practice on your reading, because in fact you're reading the subtitles. I'm talking of course about people who watch movies with English subtitles. Okay? So it's okay, but at one point you have to work on your output, and that's the second step of my technique if you read the book. The second step is you have to start producing your own sentences of English. Now, when you write homework, when your teacher gives you a task, for example, you can go on the internet and read articles, but do not copy bits and pieces from different sources and sites. You can read different articles about the subject that you want on the internet, but then you have to go away from the screen and keep your notes, or just use your memory and produce a text which sums up what you remember from what you just read. That's when you're producing your own English sentences. So, in other words, you must limit the outside help, you know, the exterior sources. I'm talking about the moment when you start writing your text. How interesting. Now, next step, there's also the speaking that you have to practice. A moment ago we talked about movies. There's a way you can use them which is more efficient than just binge watching, you know. Yes. The best technique, I think, consists of imitating, repeating. Excuse me, could you explain a little bit that particular point for the people here who may not know about the teaching? You can watch a movie and pause after each dialogue in one scene that you're studying and repeat after the actors. It's okay.
Repeat after me. You are English. No, I'm from Pakistan.
Good morning. Welcome to the Transnational Hotel. What can I do for you?
Good morning. My name is Tom Sanders. I have a reservation for a single room for 3 nights.
All right, Mr. Sanders, let me pull up your reservation. Oh, it's really easy. This is your access code and instructions on how to use it. If you have any problems, feel free to call the front desk.
Oh, I assume you finished reading Lord of the Flies for your book report?
Uh-huh.
Oh, good. How'd you like it?
I thought it was a timeless American classic.
I see. So tell me, what's it about?
You mean the book?
Yeah, the book.
You fought very hard in the games, Miss Everdeen. But they were games. Would you like to be in a real war?
No.
Good. Neither would I. Did your mother make these?
Peter.
Oh, he's a lovely boy. Tell me.
Once upon a time, there was a girl called Ella.
It's okay, but the best is to watch the whole scene and then to try to repeat it. It doesn't have to be a film. Huh? It can be an interview, a speech by a scientist, for example, a poem, a text that you like, Martin Luther King, or okay. So the thing is to read it or to watch it, and then to go away one more time, to go away from the screen, and act it out on your own. Okay. Of course, the next step in that case would be to act out the scene without even having to watch the video. So you make it yours, the content doesn't have to be yours, but then you are going to produce something which is personal. That's the same technique that babies use, you know, they learn through imitation. And the good thing when you do that is that you stop focusing on grammar mistakes, because what you're focused on is to deliver the speech and to make a good presentation and to convince your audience. That's the secret. This technique, I'm convinced, has many benefits. That's how I learned English, through Elvis Presley songs or Steve McQueen films. Because I enjoyed them. I see. And they shocked me, they moved me. Is that so?
I have a friend who's an artist and has sometimes taken a view which I don't agree with very well. He'll hold up a flower and say, "Look how beautiful it is." And I'll agree. And he says, "You see, as I as an artist can see how beautiful this is, but you as a scientist, oh, take this all apart and it becomes a dull thing." And I think that he's kind of nutty. First of all, the beauty that he sees is available to other people and to me too. I believe, although I may not be quite as refined as aesthetically as he is, that I can appreciate the beauty of a flower. At the same time, I see much more about the flower than he sees. I could imagine the cells in there, the complicated actions inside, which also have a beauty. I mean, it's not just beauty at this dimension of 1 centimeter, there's also beauty at a smaller dimensions. The fact that the colors and the flower evolved in order to attract insects to pollinate it is interesting. It means that insects can see the color. It adds a question. Does this aesthetic sense also exist in the lower forms? Why is it aesthetic? All kinds of interesting questions which the science knowledge only adds to the excitement, the mystery, and the awe of a flower. It only adds. I don't understand how it subtracts.
Let me try to retell the same story all over again. I have a friend who's an artist, and he tells me that they, artists, can appreciate beauty to its full measure. He takes a flower, for example, and he says that we scientists tend to take it apart, and in so doing it becomes a dull thing. I don't agree with him. I think he's nutty, because when you take a flower apart and you watch it at a microscopic level, you only measure the beauty of it at a different level, but it's still beautiful.